Hello fellow members of the Midnight Society, welcome back to another episode review from the show Are You Afraid of the Dark? Last time we covered the tale of C7, a Sam story about a brother and sister who encounter a haunted jukebox at an old lakeside inn. Tonight's narrative, from Gary, is about a girl who discovers her family has a dangerous centuries-old secret. Submitted for the approval of the Midnight Society, I call this Season 5, Episode 7, The Tale of Badge. We open on the gang waiting for Gary. Stig asks what happens if Gary doesn't show up, and Tucker has the answer.
I love magic, and you do too, because I'm the boss, and the rules say you gotta like what I like.
Tucker rips on Gary, and the others really seem to enjoy it until he brings up Sam, which makes her uncomfortable. Tucker is about to make what I can only guess is a masturbation joke when this happens.
I declare this meeting closed, so I can go home and look at it right now.
Quick question. Why did you have Gary's glasses? I thought they were prop glasses, which actually leads to a whole other set of questions, but then Gary shows up with no glasses on and then puts on the ones you were using. So did you steal his glasses? I mean, I wouldn't put that past Tucker. He steals Gare Bear's glasses to intentionally make him late to the group so that Tucker can put on his one-man show. In any event, you better watch yourself, Tucker. You saw that look on Scary Gary's face. You are one prank away from being his murder accomplice to his victim.
This be disgusting.
Gary says that he's not mad, which is exactly how a violent sociopath would react. He claims that Tucker proved a point for his story, that everyone has a special talent.
In your case, it's being a complete idiot.
Good one, Gary. Up top. Oh, come on! Is this because I keep telling everyone you're a serial killer? Fine. Gary says that some people have talents that are hidden. He says that if you're one of those people, you'd better hope it's a talent you can control, or it might control you. Okay. I'm intrigued.
Get used to disappointment.
Also, I need to talk a minute about the name of this tale. It is stupid. This is an episode that I never saw as a kid, and so when I first heard the name, I thought I misheard it. I thought it was supposed to be The Tale of the Badge, but no. I then assumed it had to be someone's nickname, but then to find out what Badge was somehow annoyed me even more, especially when the much more intriguing The Tale of the Setterwind is right there. Look, you all know that I've had some issues with other tale names as well, so I'm thinking I might do a filler video at some point ranking the names of the tales. If that's something you'd be interested in, let me know in the comments.
Come on, guys.
The tale begins on our main character, Gwen, celebrating her birthday with her mom, dad, and grandmother. 2 parents and a grandparent? I must have the wrong show. This is Are You Afraid of the Dark, right?
Hey, I did it! Oh. Hey! Science fair, first place, baby! It's wonderful!
Oh, whew. An obnoxious sibling. Okay, we're getting back on track. Gwen is upset because she feels like her brother Trevor got all the smarts and talent, and there's nothing special about her. Her grandmother tries to cheer her up by fetching a necklace and a box with the word badge carved into the top of it.
We'll have none of that now. Behave yourself.
I assumed there was a mogwai in that box, but no, just a crystal and a small flute. What every teen girl wants for her birthday.
Really?
Gwen is in her room practicing the flute. It isn't going very well when her grandmother, called Willie by everyone else, enters the room with her gift. Gwen vents her frustrations about her brother getting all the talent and her just being ordinary. Willie says that she is anything but ordinary and her birthday is very important.
It's yours and yours alone.
Huh. I just realized that Gwen was also in The Tale of the Carved Stone, another Gary story where this actress is presented with a rock. What gives, Gary?
Sometimes it's best to keep an open mind.
Gwen says that the necklace is just like the one Willie wears. Willie tells her it's called a jasper. Willie then goes to explain more about the box and the necklace to both Gwen and the audience when this happens.
I just had a call from your band instructor.
What's the matter?
Gwen quit the band today.
Gwen quit band? I mean, I guess she's on her way to not being a nerd anymore, am I right? I would like to apologize to any former band students out there. It's not your fault you were a nerd, it was the uniform. I want to apologize for my previous apology. It was not the uniforms that prevented you from getting laid. It was the recitals. Gwen says that she quit because she wasn't any good, but Willie says,
Music is your gift, I know.
Okay, a little foreshadowing. I expect music to play a big part in this story's resolution. You won't let me down, right, Gare? Gary? Gare Bear?
Be ready for surprises.
Gwen's mother tells her that she needs to babysit her brother while her parents are at a parent-teacher conference and Willie is at a ladies' club meeting doing, whatever drunken debauchery they get up to. Gwen protests because it's her birthday and she's supposed to be going to some party at a friend's house. Gwen's mother listens to her daughter's objection and then tells her to do it! We cut to Trevor spying on his grandmother as she puts the badge box back into her dresser, locks the drawer, and puts the key in an easily accessible place. We then cut to the parents and Willie heading out for the night. Gwen's mother tells her that they will be back at 10 p.m., but Willie should be back by 8, at which time Gwen can go to her party. What parent-teacher conference goes until 10 p.m.? I mean, sure, a teacher might set aside a block of time, say 6 to 10, to accommodate parents' schedules, but that would be to meet with every parent. Not all parents would need to be there the entire time, and even taking into account the meeting with Gwen's band teacher after, that wouldn't require 3+ hours. No. Your parents are off having a date night on your birthday, which makes them bad parents. This is an Are You Afraid of the Dark episode. I should have never doubted you, Gary.
Exactly.
As Willie is heading out the door, she stops to say something to Trevor.
Primum non nocere.
What does that mean? First, do no harm. It was Latin.
This kid may be smart and winning science fairs, but he is not fluent in dead languages. I'm sorry. I don't care what else we see in this episode. That is the most unbelievable thing in the story.
Yeah.
Gwen gets on the phone with a friend, and Trevor wastes no time in doing harm. He breaks into Willie's dresser, retrieves the badge box, and blows the flute, which activates a piece of the crag from Nickelodeon's guts. Nice cross-promotion, guys. Gwen goes to investigate the sound, so Trevor quickly throws the box out the window, and for being such a genius, comes up with the worst lie to explain why he's in the room.
I thought I left some microscope slides in here. Have you seen them?
Bro, all you had to say was that you heard a noise and thought it came from the room. Boom! Presence explained. But, carpe diem or whatever. Gwen tells Trevor to stay out of Willie's room, and he completely ignores her the moment she walks out of frame. Once back in the room, Trevor sees that someone turned the fog machines to high outside. Fog begins to obscure all the other windows of the house as well before the power goes out. Gwen is about to go look for Trevor when there is a knock at the front door.
Who's there?
I'm looking for Setterwind.
There's no one here by that name.
Our mystery guest does not give up so easily, though.
An accident. There's been an accident.
Well, which is it, dude? You're looking for the Setterwind, or there's been an accident? I mean, you were almost as bad at lying as Trevor is.
I knew you'd come through for me.
The person outside asks if Gwen is in trouble since her lights are out. Gwen says that she'll call the police for the person, but that she is not letting them in the house. Good for you, Gwen. I'd say that a slow clap was in order if, I didn't already know that magical shenanigans are going to render your rational decisions moot.
Who's there?
Gwen, I forgot my keys again, dear.
Gwen, I know it's a familiar voice, but there was another voice out there not 10 seconds ago. Maybe we use the peephole again or ask some additional questions?
Really? Are we glad to see you?
Or yeah, just open the door. Okay, this furry speaking like a Yoda reject is Badge, which I guess is short for Badger since that's clearly the inspiration for the character. So far, I'm on board. I love the makeup, the delivery is over the top and sinister. I'm willing to see where it goes. Why are we laughing?
What's the matter?
Badge demands that Gwen bring him the Setterwind and takes her brother exiting out the front door. Gwen follows them, but finds herself in Fraggle Rock? Down in Fraggle Rock, Gwen finds the Badge box while Badge taunts her from all around about being trapped for 6 centuries. Well, no wonder he talks like a weirdo. No one to correct him he hasn't had. What?
Those are all obvious talents.
Badge tells her to bring him the Setterwind in exchange for her brother. Gwen says that she doesn't know where to find a Setterwind. Rather than clearly outline what it is he wants, Badge continues to be cryptic about the Setterwind, saying things like, It kept him trapped, and its magic is no match for his now that he's free, and it's going to rot in his garden for what it did to him. He keeps referring to it as an it instead of a who, which is obviously, for the audience so they don't realize it's a person, but it just seems dumb on the villain's part.
Then I'm sorry to disappoint you.
Gwen flees back into the house where the power has come back on. She tries the phone, but it still doesn't work. She sits down and looks at the badge box, saying,
Music. Music is my gift.
And yet she completely misses the music notes just above Badge's name. Music is not my gift, and I clocked that immediately. Gwen heads into Willie's room and retrieves the book her grandmother was going to show her earlier. It's here that she learns the Setterwind is a person, and it's her bloodline as she finds both Willie and her in the book. There's also a short poem.
Darkest night, I play this song. Call upon the Jasper's light to bind the goblin in Setterwind might.
I have a question. In the book, all the ladies are listed by their first name followed by Setterwind, like Wilhelmina Setterwind, Gwendolyn Setterwind. So is Setterwind their last name, or is it a title? I mean, if it's a family surname, how would Gwen not know it? And if it's a title, why would it be listed in the book like a surname? I mean, if only there were a book of lore that could explain it.
The Jasper's light to bind the goblin.
No need for lore, everyone. Nope. Gwen put on the necklace and she is confidently reciting part of the poem, so she's got this one.
What do you want?
Gwen heads back to Fraggle Rock. Back to Fraggle Rock.
I'm back!
Gwen demands that Badge give her brother back, and when he refuses, she breaks out the Jasper, says the words, and traps that furry weirdo again. It's just every time. No, of course it didn't. She missed the most important part of the poem because music is her gift, not reading. Meanwhile, outside the house, but not in the cave. Also the cave is outside the house, but also outside the house, outside the cave. Anyway, she has arrived home, but struggles to get her key in the lock. She knocks, alerting Badge to her presence. She then manages to get the door open and heads inside the cave, not the house. The cave was outside the house, but now now she goes in the house, but now the cave is in the house, not the house is not in the house. Anyway, she switches places with Gwen while also giving her a key clue.
Play the song, Gwen. Music is your gift. The song.
Back in the house, Gwen repeats what Willie said, but doesn't know what the song is. I mean, she even picks up the badge box.
What is the song?
It takes her way too long to figure out what is not even a puzzle. But in her defense, 5 notes is not a f***ing song.
Music notes!
Whatever, I'm just happy that she's happy. Music is her gift. Meanwhile, on the cave set, Badge is either threatening Willie or flirting with her. And I challenge you to tell me which one for sure.
Have I been waiting for this, Setterwind?
Badge attempts to take Willie's Jasper, but realizes that there's no magic in it. Willie then reveals that she has passed it on to Gwen, who, at this very moment, seems baffled by her ability to play 3 separate notes. Back in the cave, Willie starts getting kinky with Badge.
You see, I passed the gift to my granddaughter.
You cannot convince me she didn't smack him on the ass just then. Anyway, Badge interpretive dances his way back into the house, where Gwen seals him back in the crag with an expression on her face that seems inappropriate for the task at hand. Once the coast is clear, Gwen gives her action movie one-liner.
Don't mess with the Setterwind.
I don't think you have room to be boastfully talking when you were so terrible at fingering. Okay, that did not sound right, but you all know what I meant, okay? Get your minds out of the gutter. Show a little class. I mean, we're talking about a 90s kids horror anthology show, for crying out loud.
No, we're fine.
Trevor shows up and tells Gwen that he knew she'd come through for him. Willie also shows up and checks to make sure Badge is back in his prison. Gwen then says,
I don't think I really understand what happened.
"Yeah, me either."
You will, child.
Okay, but how about you explain it to those of us who are watching it right now?
No!
Willie tells Gwen that Setterwind magic has been passed from grandmother to granddaughter for centuries and that it has a price. They are the guardians of the box and the monster within. But why? Who is Badge? Why was he imprisoned to begin with? I mean, for all we know, he was just a delightful badger fellow from Narnia who turned angry and evil from centuries in captivity. Maybe the Setterwinds are the real monsters. It's a pretty lousy wrap-up for an underbaked story that had real potential. I think Trevor says it best.
That's it? That's weak.
Trevor starts asking a bunch of questions until Willie does some magic to make him forget. But I thought you passed the magic on to Gwen, which is why Badge didn't detect any in your Jasper. Shouldn't that mean you can't do magic anymore? Willie, I need you to tell me what is going on here.
Oh, nothing for a nosy little boy. But I do believe there's some ice cream in the freezer.
Please, your little mind games aren't going to work on me, okay? What flavor?
It's very special, just like you.
Gary ends the tale by saying that Gwen's special talent was far more special than she could have ever hoped for. The ability to play 5 notes very slowly on a tiny flute. It is a sight to behold. Also, can we circle back to the beginning real quick when you said the thing about you better hope you can control your talent or else it'll control you, because that didn't factor into this story at all. Like, at all. It would be one thing if she discovered this magic that's tied to music and it could somehow influence her or control her to make her do dark things until she learned how to control it, but that's not what we have here. She has this magic, and Badge is a separate entity who wants to steal that magic. That is not the same thing at all. Anyway, Stig says that he has a special talent, and while I was with Kiki on not wanting to know what it was, it turned out to be pretty cool. The sound of responsive howls sends the rest of the gang fleeing in fright, leaving Stig as a wolf pack of 1.
Hey, yo, wait up!
Now for the review. I feel like I've been fairly hard on the last couple of episodes, and I'm really trying not to do that here, but woof! Look, don't get me wrong. There are things to like here. The concept, the acting, the makeup, and really fun villain. But for everything I like, there's something I don't. The lack of lore, the waste of the music premise, and the very anticlimactic ending.
You couldn't be more wrong.
The settings were fine, if just underutilized, which, again, feels like something I've been saying a lot this season. The house was just a house, but they did some clever things with the blackout and the fog outside the windows. The Badge Cave was really cool, but we hardly spend any time there, and when we do nothing with it.
It's no big deal.
The story. What holds this episode back is the lack of backstory and lore on Badge, the Setterwinds, and the music that ties them together. If I were to rewrite this, I would have started with Gwen playing a piece of music, one that's unique and that she can't get out of her head. It sounds good, but it's not complete, and she's struggling with the beginning or the end, and it's really frustrating her, leading to Willie giving her the box and the pep talk. Now, once Badge is free, and Gwen follows him into the cave, I would have had him give his backstory on who he was and why he was imprisoned, prompting his hatred of the Setterwind. I would have also nixed his Yoda speak so that he could explain his motives more clearly. I would then have Willie come back early because she forgot her keys or some similar reason. It's at this point that she would switch places with Gwen. Now, back in the house, Gwen would find the book and get some actual backstory on the Setterwinds from the book, as well as realizing that she and Willie are Setterwinds. She would immediately recognize that the notes on the box are notes, grab the flute, and head back into the cave to save Willie and Trevor. In the cave, there would be real stakes, with Badge slowly draining Willie's magic, right? Gwen plays the notes, but it doesn't work. Then, just when things are most dire, she realizes that the notes from the box complete the song that's been in her head this whole time, the song of the Setterwind. She plays it, which transfers the magic entirely to her and recaptures Badge. Now, even though I think this would have been better as a two-parter, I do think it could have been done in one the way I've laid it out.
You must develop it.
The scares. There weren't really any scares, though I do believe that Badge himself would have been quite unsettling for a younger audience. It's a really great makeup, and I just wish the writing had lived up to it and the performance. There were one or two minor jump scares involving Badge that, again, might have spooked a younger crowd, so I'll give them that. Younger me wouldn't have found this one scary, but it would have made me want a Badge of my very own. I'd hug him and squeeze him and love him forever. The acting in this episode was good. Trevor isn't in the episode much, but does a good job as the pretentious younger brother. Gwen feels like she's playing the same character she did in Carved Stone, but still does well as the awkward teen who just lacks confidence.
How come he got all the brains?
The adult acting in this episode was excellent. I won't be covering the parents because blink and you miss them, but Willie was terrific. She nails the caring grandmother who clearly has more going on behind the scenes. Badge was a fun villain that's only really let down by the story itself. He brought real menace and some great physicality to the role, and I just wish we could have seen him be more of a threat.
And rot in my garden.
Gary, this is one of those cases where I wish I didn't just rate these episodes on a pass-fail basis, but I do. So the tale of Badge just barely does not meet the approval of the Midnight Society. The Midnight Society members poll on this one was, at the time of recording this video, 76% in favor of, with 24% against, so overruled I'm being. Almost as low rated as Jagged Sign this was. What the hell was that about?
I don't think I want to know.
Thank you to my patrons financially supporting the channel on Patreon. Jimmy Purcell, Rick Maxwell, Sean Hart, Jay Booth, Tony Ebers, Jessica Tim, EC, J.R. Green, Emilio Flores, and AJN. You all win a blue ribbon in my book. Trevor can requiescat in pace, or whatever the kids are saying these days. If you want early access to videos as well as bonus behind-the-scenes content, you can join my Patreon for as little as $1 a month. Check it out at patreon.com/jackofallnerds.
Cool.
I want to thank the following Midnight Society members for participating in this video's poll.
Long have I been waiting for this.
Not on my watch, Badge. Names are on the screen. Never had one lesson. What did you all think of Gary's story? Did you see it as a kid? If you had magical music powers that included making people forget things, how would you abuse them? Let me know in the comments below. Be sure to check out the next episode on the Tale of the Manaha. Until then, are you afraid of the dark?
Music notes.
Thanks for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed this video, please consider giving it a like and a share. Don't forget to subscribe and click that bell icon to be notified when more of these videos go up. Y'all come back now, you hear?